it's just a really simple what to wear. I'm not giving them really any specific instructions. I'm just telling them some really simple things, and then I'm telling them at the end, the last paragraph is, Lori will make clothing suggestions on your consultation call based on the decor style of the room where you will be hanging your portraits. So it's reiterated again that this is all this process. This is going to happen. Here's how it's going to happen. Here is when you will get the specific suggestions for clothing. It's going to be after this happens. So, you know, and that's all part of creating a system. You're putting each step of that process in place as it should happen. So whatever the product line is that you decide that you're going to focus on for your events or for your studio product line, just put those steps in place to make sure that you can get there without beating yourself up over it. You know, I think, you know, just by letting people know this, it kind of gives you that permission to ask them. And that's one of the reasons that we started doing it on the first phone call, letting people know, asking them, have you thought about where you're going to hang your portraits? Well, no, I haven't really thought about that. Well, we're going to be asking you to take some images of your walls, and what we specialize in is creating a custom concept for you. And I'm going to be asking you to take these images. It not only gives them the instruction to do it, but it gives me the permission to go ahead and follow through with what I've told them that I'm going to do. So putting that into that first conversation, you know, makes you stay on task as well, making sure that you follow through. All right, so we went through packages, and now we're going to do the build a collection. And again, I don't want to confuse anybody. I just want to give you options. The build a collection works really, really well for not putting people into a box. If you're letting them build their own, then the options are, well, they can add this, this, and this to it, and I'm going to walk you through how that works. This is the product menu. So we've got two different ones. The one that I have printed hardbound, I've got the product menu on one side, the build a collection, and then the package menu on the other side. So whoever I'm working with, I can work from this, and I only have to have it printed once, one hardbound book with both of them in it. So we're going to start, the product menu is going to start, we've got a couple of appointment times in it. I don't even have those up here. But it's got just a place for them to write their appointment time, and then it talks about their view and choose appointment. So you guys have that. And then we've got the design planner again. So it's going to have that peel and stick. Go stick it on the wall. We'll measure their wall. And tells them how to do that and gives them some ideas of where to do it. That's another thing too, is when you're starting to talk to people about places that they can hang their portraits and they really haven't thought about it. Or you have that mom who says, I've got all windows in my house. There's no place to hang anything. You know, I told you yesterday, one of the tools I use is, you know, I love a challenge. Go ahead and photograph just any place that you would even consider. And, you know, I'd love to see what we can do with that space. So I'll kind of give them that little, you know, we're going to do this. Let's make this happen. But this also just lists some suggestions for them. So it's going to be anything from the normal living room, family room, dining room. You know, do people think about hanging portraits in their dining room? Well, now they might. You know, just give them those options. Bathroom, master bedroom, kitchen. I've hung lots of portraits in people's kitchen. If they walk through and they say, I could do something here, you know, I can shoot specifically for that. I have one of my really great clients that I love. They're two little girls. I have them eating popsicle sticks on their back porch, or eating popsicles. They're not eating the sticks, but they're eating popsicles sitting on their back porch and just in their shorts and their summer pigtails, and that's what's hanging in their kitchen. And that's this fun summer memory that their mom has, and that was something that she told me about on the phone. Actually, it was at the end of their session. We were shooting for something completely different, and at the end of the session, she said, we were done. The girls wanted popsicles. And I said, can I photograph that? I'm going to go ahead and photograph them eating their popsicles. And she said, oh my gosh, this is our summer. This is, you know, a summer memory for me. These girls, they ripped their shirts off, sat on the back porch, eating their popsicles, and then she had to have that to hang in the kitchen. They go right out to the back porch from the kitchen. So, you know, look for all those different opportunities of different things that you can photograph. Kids' rooms, playrooms, hallway, office, the mud room. Years ago, I was working with a mom, and I always will ask them, what's the most lived in area of your home? I also asked them, where does everyone enter your home? Giving them little triggers like that kind of helps them to, really visualize people coming into their home and seeing their beautiful portraits. Or what's the most lived in area? That's the place that they're going to enjoy them the most because they're there all the time. So I asked a mom, what's the place everyone enters? And she said, is it weird to say the back door? And I said, no, the back door is great. Tell me about that. And she said, well, we have a pretty cool mud room. We had it designed, and all the kids have their little, 5 kids, all the kids have their little foot lockers that they come in, they take off their shoes and, muddy clothes or whatever is right there. And so that's where everybody comes in, is into this mud room. And so during the session, we actually shot for the mud room, and I just shot feet. And Ernie took a picture of my feet earlier. And I'm a feet person anyway. I love, little kids' toes. And so they were all lined up and shot all their little bare feet, the parents too. So 7 sets of feet, and that hung a big long canvas over their mudroom bench. So, not asking those questions, I would have never known that we were going to do something for that spot. I would have never even thought to photograph them all lined up in their little bare feet for the mudroom. So make the suggestions. You never know what's going to happen. Even, I don't have laundry room in here, but I've actually photographed for a laundry room before. There are people that invest a lot of money in their laundry room. And unfortunately, we spend a lot of time there, so why not enjoy, I did a whole series of mud pictures, just kids playing in the mud. And that's what ended up in one mom's laundry room. So super cute, and just by posing those ideas to them. So the way the build your own package works is going to be walking them through the steps that you want them to take. And the reason that I wanted to share this with you was not to confuse you, but if you are just starting out or you're getting to the place where you want to start offering some different products that you're not offering, sometimes the best way is to have a literal system for your client as well as for yourself. So you're not only in your mind, I want them to buy for the wall. That's the most important thing. Next, I want them to start thinking about smaller prints. Next, I want them to start thinking about add-ons. We know that, but it's hard sometimes to communicate that to the client. So if you put it into a build your own menu, you're literally walking them through those steps, and when they do those things that you want them to do, they're going to get a discount. So that way they've got that value of the package with that discount. So this one, it says exactly that. It says get exactly what you want and get the same value as a package right there at the top. And then step 1 is going to be for the wall. And it says select from canvas wraps, wall groupings, or custom prints 16 by 20, 24 or larger. So this, and it just says custom framing available. It doesn't even, it's not right there included. So for that person who was asking, what if they don't want to frame? What if they don't want to frame? Lead them through this. Let them know custom framing is available, but it's still number 1. You're still walking them through the process that is the first step. So they're going to choose for their wall first. What the other thing that this doesn't do is it doesn't say, package A is a 16 by 20, 2 11 by 14s, 2 8 by 10s, and a 5 by 7, where you've stuck them in a box of a 16 by 20. It says choose from canvas wraps, wall groupings, or custom prints 16 by 24 or larger. Yes, they can purchase just one 16 by 24. However, we've left it wide open. They can also buy 8 16 by 24s. There's no box around that. So that's step 1. Step 2 is going to be for the tabletop and desk. And it just says for tabletops, desks, and dressers, prints up to 11 by 14. On that, I do have a minimum. And the reason is when we go through this, I know what my baseline is. I know if everyone buys the minimum from each one of these steps, I'm going to still reach that minimum order that I want to reach. So prints up to 11 by 14, and it's a minimum of 3 that they can choose from that category. I actually don't like having that word minimum there. However, without it, if they just bought one 5 by 7, I'm not going to hit that average. So I want them to buy at least 3 from that category. And then step 3 is for real kids. It's real fun. And it says choose from any multiple image piece, album, or image box. So a multiple image piece is going to be a storyboard. It's going to be a desk strip. It's going to be an album, image box, anything with more than one image in it. This canvas wrap over here that's got 4 images included, things like that. We call any of those pieces, we call them designer pieces, designer collections. And that's just because I hate the word collage. And to me, that's a real scrapbooky term, and it's something that was, became real popular when everybody could start designing that really shouldn't have been designing. And so I don't use that word. I use designer piece or designer collection. But any of our multiple image pieces that come in one piece like that are called those we use that type of verbiage for. So any of those things are going to fall into that third category. So once they choose from all 3 steps, they're going to get 15% off their order. And that means they're going to get that value. That's how I would price a package. I would put everything I would put into a package and take about 15% off to give them that value of the package. So does that all make sense? And again, that could be from anything that you are wanting to sell. Just put the steps in place that if they purchase from each one of those categories, you're going to give them a discount.
So can I ask really quick? So are you basically pricing that slightly above, like the total would be slightly above what your lowest package price would be, and then the 15% would make it equal to that package?
Say that again.
So if you were to strip away the 15% and have someone build the package, would it end up totaling above like $960?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's like all right at that price.
So it's very strategic how you have that.
Exactly.
So that it wouldn't matter if they went this route or went a package route.
Right. The way we use this most is with the real kids sessions that happen in our studio. And really the build your own package takes too long at an event unless you've walked your client through everything before they get there. And so that's why packages are so powerful while we're there. But what's going to happen for everybody, once you start doing these events, you're going to have clients from that want to go above and beyond. They don't want to just be the shorter session. They don't want to just be the one outfit. And you're going to be able to turn those into people who are willing to invest in you. And when that happens, having tools in place to be able to walk them through the process when you're not quite confident enough yet to just say, okay, first we're going to choose for your wall. We're going to design your wall. Instead, you've got it in place for them and you're rewarding them for what you want them to buy. We're going to walk you through this process. You're going to get to build your own collection, get exactly what you want, and still get that package discount. So again, we're showing them different options. We're showing them framed groupings and just as options. And we're showing them, excuse me, the digital collection. Again, it doesn't matter what product line it is in my studio. I've decided how I can sell digital files. It's always 10 images for $2,000 or 30 for $3,000. And then it does say on there, check out our bonus list to find out how you can get up to 50% off your digital collection. And so that's when that makes a really nice add-on. Even if they go with that 10 images and they get it half off, they're adding that on to the $2,000 that they've spent. That's a great add-on. I'm happy to let them have that. They've already purchased what I want them to purchase, and that's for their wall. After that, I feel like I've taken care of them. I've taken care of my client. If they want to own those digital files, sure, they can own those digital files. The boutique items are fun things that I want my clients to have because they're walking marketing pieces. When I wear this Katori bracelet, people stop me all the time. Where did you get that? And so I know they do it to my clients, and so we want to have those things available to them. The Wild Sorbet frames obviously are things that it's not that super high profit margin, but they're such a unique thing that, years ago, before I started doing Wild Sorbet, I know I had people here and there that would walk into like a baby nursery and say, who did your photography? I love that. And I would get some clients here and there. But now people walk in and they're like, where did you get that frame? I have to have that frame. And so we get calls just based on the product that's out there. Same thing with the jewelry and having the albums that moms can take around and show off. Those things are boutique items. They aren't things that are necessary or things that we would have to sell related to images. and not necessarily that, your highest profit margin, if you're priced appropriately, is going to be your prints. But we want to sell all these items because it gets people excited and talking about us and sharing us. So Jewel Kate is that other jewelry line that I told you guys about. Albums and image boxes, definitely people are showing them, they're sharing the images from the image boxes. And then DVD slideshows, same thing. We allow the DVD slideshows. I make them so that they can be copied. I don't need them to buy, two, three, four DVDs from me. If they buy one at $175, they're welcome to copy it off for grandparents or dad's office or whatever. So those things, we're excited about offering, but again, we don't want it to be the concentration. We want to tell them, we're going to show you how you can get that at a discount and lead them into the bonus schedule. So I'm going to go back one more time and just flip through this. The product menu does have, again, this one says custom prints, like it's supposed to, and lists those custom print sizes, 30 by 40 down to 5 by 7. I also have other sizes available. When I've got my full product menu in the studio, I've got a lot of sizes on there. Part of the reason is because when you don't have a lot of sizes, you have a huge jump in price when you're going up to the next size. If you can put in a lot of sizes, then you've got small increments going up. And so instead of just 16 by 20, 20 by 24, I'm going to have a 24 by 36 in there. I'm going to have a 20 by 26. We're going to have square sizes in there. But for the purpose of this, all I want them to see on this custom print menu is really the value of things, because we want to plug them into a package where they're going to get a discount. So that's there. The storyboards are there. The desk strip is there. Canvas groupings. So we're sharing with them all these options, all these different things that they can do. The actual packages are in this menu, although usually we aren't presenting them with that. So, and then those gift prints again. The gift prints are 12, 8, or 5, and they can get those from any pose that's been ordered. So that's that. Oh, and I will share the custom greeting card page as well. I think we touched on the cards the other day, maybe. But cards are something that I've been doing for years and years and years, because it's such a great marketing piece when it leaves your studio and goes into somebody's hands, and they are directly delivering it to their friends and family, who are probably going to be your target client as well, if your client is. So I always want to make those available to people, and I'll make suggestions for them. Even if we do a session and it doesn't have anything to do with a holiday or anything else that's coming up, I'll tell them, we can do some great greeting cards, just note cards for you with your child's image, and we have those in the studio so that they can see different options of those. So definitely holiday cards and the things that make sense, but other ways that we can get them into people's hands too. We do lots of playdate cards, which is actually on the next slide. But the playdate cards, like this one on the left, we add a little image of the child, and I do sell these, but I also offer them a lot at the end of an event. I'll put them into anybody who got a package. I'll just order them a set of playdate cards. And it's one of those things that it really just gives mom an opportunity to show off her kid. But, we call them playdate cards, and it's some of them do have a space that say something like, come play with me, and it has a date and time that mom can write down a little play date for her child. And then her information is on it also. So
your studio information is on these too,
it
right?
Is just the website,
just on the back or something in a discreet way. And
I don't know if you can see it on that one, but it's just right across the front of it.
Okay.
nordstronphoto.com. Same with these over here. This on the right. At ACI, you can order a set of wallets that are each different. And so after an event, I'll just put every kid on an individual wallet, and then I'll punch these out and then do a hole punch, and I tie that onto their bag. And so that makes a really inexpensive, individual, personalized piece to put on their bag that we're delivering to them. And, it's the same price as a regular sheet of wallets, $2 and something. And then you can order every one of them different. So I add their names on there, and it does have the website information. That's also a fun thing. We've been for seniors, for our high school seniors, we sell a couple of wallet collections, and girls usually get a ton of wallets, especially. But I'll always just throw a sheet of wallets together of 8 different pictures that they didn't order for wallets, and just give them a set of those 8 individual ones. And then what happens is they see images wallet size that they should have gotten, and then we call and we get extra orders for more wallets. So that makes it a really economical way to kind of, market that and get an extra sale.
And you,
After you.
do you put your logo on those wallets that you've given them?
Yep, they are just like
Watermarked.
this.
Oh, it has the whole side.
It just has nordstronphoto.com up the side. Yeah.
My turn. So, Lori, so all the custom greetings.
Yes.
Is that all when they're building a package that you incorporate that in, or is this something that comes later?
It's just an add-on.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And yes, we will. They'll order that right at the time of.
Okay.
They can order them anytime, and I'll tell you, whether it's a Real Kids event, whatever it is, anybody that's been photographed with us from all year, we will tell them, we've got your favorites selected, so when it gets close to the holidays, we've got them all together for you, and we can design a holiday card for you. That's even if we photograph them in March. And so most people, they're not going to think about using that March session for their holiday cards unless we tell them. They're getting closer to the holidays and they're making one themselves, or they're going to do a quickie holiday session with somebody. And so instead, I want to make sure they know when it gets close to the holidays, you're going to get a reminder email. We've got all your favorites tagged. So if you want to do a holiday card with us, we can get one designed for you and use your favorites. So that's the only thing that they wouldn't purchase at the time of the session.
We have a couple more questions for you, Lori, if that works. A lot of people are digging this product guide and packaging guide. And a lot of people are asking, is there a place that you sell these?
Yes, all the templates for everything that we do are on the website. It's portraiteventsystem.com, and you guys will have all the templates for everything. So yay!
Yay!
And
Oprah moment.
Yes, you guys will have this in your little goodie bag that you don't know this coming. But yes, they are available in. And like I told you guys yesterday for the viewing audience, those are available if it makes anybody's life easier. They are not needed to start this. You can see everything that we're doing, and so if you can create those pieces, it's great. But if it makes it easier for you, makes your life simpler to be able to just drop your images in and add your logo, then it's all ready to go for you. And there's everything from products to pricing to all the marketing pieces, all the studio pieces, everything.
Actually, we have one more question. A couple people have asked this as well. Beauty of the Lake and also W. Anderson want a little bit more clarification on the build your own system. It says, do you always have to pick 1, 2, and 3, or do they sometimes say they don't want a multi-image piece? Do they always, it says, if I'm understanding correctly, the build your own, you have to pick something from each category. So that's kind of where people are like 1 and 2, or is it 1, 2, and always 3? How does that work?
It's 1, 2, and always 3. They're welcome to purchase from the a la carte menu, but if they want that package discount, then they're going to go through each step to create their own package. So, and this came from the way we do high school seniors. Our high school seniors have a build a collection, and I think I did the steps before, but I'll do it again. And this is a pared down version of that, but with our high school seniors, step 1 is hang it up, and that's for the wall. Step 2 is set it out, and that's all their smaller pieces up to 11 by 14. I do include up to 11 by 14 in the smaller pieces, and while most people wouldn't put an 11 by 14 on a tabletop, I don't want them thinking about that as a wall portrait. I will hang them, this is 3 8 by 12s, I will put those on the wall, but they need to be done in a grouping. And so that's why step 1 says wall groupings or single image 16 by 24 or larger. So they're not thinking about 11 by 14 as a single wall portrait. So hang it up, set it out. Step 3 is mix it up, and that's those multiple image pieces. And then step 4 is make the cover, and that's choosing their album. So for high school seniors, we have 3 different styles of albums, and they choose the album. And nope, they do not have to go through that 4-step process. They are welcome to purchase from our a la carte menu. But when they look at it and look at what they want, by the time and with our high school seniors, it's not a discounted menu like I have here. And so they actually get 20% off their order when they go through all 4 steps. That's a substantial discount once they start adding everything up. And so we rarely have a senior who doesn't go through all 4 steps. Because when you can sit with mom and you can say, absolutely, you do not have to do that, that's where you're going to see the most value. But you're welcome to order from our a la carte menu. Well, once she gets going and her daughter wants an album and she wants this or that, well, they might as well throw in that multiple image piece and get that 20% off. They almost get it free a lot of times. Okay. So if you can make it make sense like that to your client, it's always about them. You want to make sure that you're telling them, no problem, you're welcome to order from the a la carte menu. But this is where you're going to see the most value. And that makes sense to people. Okay, that makes sense. If I choose from here, here, and here. If they get there and they say, I really don't want that, no problem. You can order from our a la carte menu. The strategy to pricing it in a certain way is that if they're ordering from a la carte and they're getting a few things, it makes sense to, I just need to go over here and go with the flow because that's where it makes sense for me. That's where I'm going to get the value. So whether it's packages, build your own, whatever it is, anytime you're giving a discount or you're giving a bonus or putting something into place where you've got steps, make sure that you're rewarding your client for where you want them to spend. So instead, if we want a $500 average, we're not going to reward them for spending at $300 with a great value-added package, right? So does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Can I ask one question about your seniors? Where do your packages start with that? You have that top package that's $2,500. Where is your base for seniors?
I don't have actual packages put together. Mm-hmm. It's all the build a collection.
All build your own. Okay.
And we don't even consider that $2,500 one a package. That's a session. Okay. So on our sessions, we've got a $185 session with Stacy. We've got a $285 session with Lori. And then we've got the $2,500 session that includes Stacy and Lori. Stacy does video, Lori shoots, and they get their video and an album, and that we call it the Rockstar session. Mm-hmm.
And now, is that priced similarly to Build Your Own, or is that higher?
Nope.
Always going to be higher?
The album is that they get in that is $1,200, mm-hmm. and then the video we charge $200 for. My session's $285. I think there might even be a little bit of portrait credit in that as well. I can't even remember. But yeah, however it is, it's if they were to break out what's included in that. Mm-hmm. The only reason we put it there is because we decided we weren't going to do video for anyone unless they purchased that package. Mm-hmm. And but just, again, it's one of those things where you just put it out there. Mm-hmm. That was one of the things that we just decided this year for our time. We were not going to shoot video unless we were paid for it. And so we just threw it out there. We didn't know if anyone would even purchase it. Mm-hmm. We just wanted that yes answer because now we've got videos floating all over Facebook, and the high school seniors get excited about these videos, and so we knew we'd be asked about it, and we wanted to be able to say yes, but we're not just going to bring a videographer along just for kicks, And so it's that yes answer. Absolutely, we would love to do video for you. Here's how you can get it, and it does include those things. And I think they probably even save a little bit of money there, by doing that. Do
you offer a discount with the Build Your Own, or is it just?
It's 20% off. 20%. If they go through each step, they're going to get 20% off their order.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So all of these pieces are going to be part of your follow-up and staying in communication with your client. Those referral cards, the playdate cards, the thank you notes. I always want to have those on hand so that we can write thank you notes all the time. We didn't even give our kids that were here the little party favors that we do, but I've got just little cards that they're just business card size. I'm sure I have them in here. That say something like "loved your smile," and we tie them onto lollipops and give the kids those. We've got the branded water bottles, and don't have any more of those out either. We've had them the last couple days, and kind of filtered through those, but I don't know, maybe I don't have any of the smaller cards in here. But they're just little business-sized cards that look like all the rest of the stuff. We tie them on. All right, so putting this all into place. Who's scared?
Can we, do you mind if we take more questions on
Sure.
that segment before we move
yes.
on? Okay, let's do that. So many questions. Quick one from Mac Attack. Are the wild sorbet frames as popular with the high school seniors as they are for little children?
They are. We do a lot of traditional. We also do a lot of canvas wrap with high school seniors. But in my sales room, looks a lot like this. I've got 2 couches. You guys are the projector in front of me, and it's just a cozy little living area. It's a loft space, and to the left of the projection screen, I've got a wild sorbet grouping of a high school senior girl. And it's funny because before that was hung there, the grouping that was to the left of my projection screen was the one I sold most. And I switched it out recently to this high school senior girl, and we have sold that grouping on the left side for whatever reason. I don't know if that's just where people's eyes get drawn or what, but then now that grouping sells. So I think it kind of goes back to you're going to sell what you show. And we do bring all of our senior families back into the studio to view and choose their images. It's projected, living room atmosphere, smells good. We've got stuff for them to eat and drink and all that good stuff. We even create a little box for each one of our high school seniors that on their profile sheet, we ask them, what's your favorite candy? What's your favorite thing to drink? What's your favorite music? We ask them all those things. We've got that written down. When they walk into the studio, we've got on a Pandora radio station based on their favorite song, or their favorite band or whatever it is. We filled the little box with their favorite candy. We've got their name on the front of it with our Real Seniors logo. All these things we want to personalize it for them. But they're going to be more grown-up frames, kind of like this one over here. We're not doing bright colors and that kind of stuff. But I showed you guys the Wild Sorbet catalog the other day. There are so many options in there, even for formal family rooms. They're not all just kid-looking. So yes, they are popular. There's a couple of patterns they have as well that are kind of that fleur de lis.
Fleur de lis.
Thank you. Pattern that's really popular. There's a floral one that's popular for the girls, and moms really dig it because it blends in with their decor, and so yeah.
Great. T and Photo would like to know, since Fusion is so big, how long are the videos generally that your seniors
It's
get?
a song.
A song length?
Yep. So 3-4 minutes.
Okay.
All right, a question from Bob Flint. Do your custom prints that are mounted, do those fit into a standard frame?
Yes.
So for example, if somebody just wanted that, could they put it?
Yep, they absolutely could. All of our sizes pretty much are, we've got 8x12s instead of 8x10s, 11x16 instead of 11x14. But I do all the other sizes in between as well. And so I'm always going to crop the image, even when our client sits down with us and they're choosing sizes. If they say, I want a 16x20, but it needs to be cropped to a 16x24, I'm going to make that call. And so, if they are framing it themselves, sure, I'll let them know, are you okay with this being a 16x24? It's going to be much better to the proportion of the image. And we can crop it for them right there in preview, so they're going to be able to see it at that size. They'll be able to see what I'm talking about if it's going to be chopped too much. But, I'm going to suggest if it should be square, if it should be a longer, proportion. But yes, most of those sizes you can still find frames for.
Okay. W. Anderson would like to know, with the atmosphere that you set up, would you have done the same thing if you were just a location shooter and didn't have a studio?
Okay, that is such a good question. And I will tell you this. I strapped myself into an 8,000 square foot building 4 years ago. So I don't have a choice but to be there and to work my butt off and make sure that I utilize every part of it. If I could have a choice right now, I'm going to be honest with the entire world right now, I would be all in location. I think there's such huge value to being in someone's home that if I could do it over today, that building would be gone, and so would the mortgage with it and the responsibility of it. And I would be on location. I always sell more when I'm in someone's home. So yes, we want to personalize the experience, but if I am on Linnea's couch in her home, we've already done this design session. I'm in her home to even make suggestions over and above. If I'm going to shoot in that home, even better. I'm going to go shoot there. I'm going to walk around the house and make suggestions. I'm going to take my own pictures of the walls, making suggestions. I'm going to be interior designer in her house. I'm going to choose the clothing for her. I'm going to go to the closet, take it out, lay it out for her. Everything's going to be so personal and customized. If you're on location, use it to your advantage. There's huge value in being all on location. So yes, and personalize it, bring in, make it like a little party. Bring in snacks if you want to, bring in drinks. We always ask our clients what their favorite drinks are. Moms always question back, do you mean drink? Or, and I mean, we get that a lot. And it's the Midwest, so they kind of want to know what do you mean, tea? No, we want to know what you want to drink. And, and if the answer is tea, water, whatever, that's great. We've got a Keurig coffee maker. We can make single pot coffees. But if they want wine, they get wine. If they want beer, they get beer. If dad wants something crazy, he's going to get it. I mean, we want them to have exactly what they want. So yes, even going into someone's home, I would treat them to that.
That is so encouraging, because I know a lot of us are like, oh, we have to have a studio. And so to hear that is fantastic.
I was feeling so jealous of your studio and going, oh, but I don't have a studio. And then you just made my day. Would you bring the drinks to their house?
Sure. Take a little picnic basket and
That
treat
would
them.
merit an
so
assistant,
cute.
wouldn't it? I mean, wouldn't you think having another person on hand to do that and kind of help you out with that would be an advantage?
Yeah, but just to take because you bring a bottle of wine.
There's
when you're
no
going
need. Yeah. I've never
them a-
worked with an assistant.
Bring them a cheese plate.
You seriously could. And you know what? There are people that will work with you to do that. Find your local wine store. And they'll put together a little cheese plate and a bottle of wine for you and do it at a discount for you to be marketing to their next new client.
They also make the cutest little wine bags. They're like leopard, but they're hard cases like a purse. I don't know if you've seen that, with little snap, and you tote your wine there. So that'd be kind of a cute little thing to take.
Bring that out
Brand
on
new
Saturday night. Small wine purse.
Yeah, absolutely. And in all those situations, make your client your friend. You're getting to know them, you're spending time with them. It's not just sitting down and let's get to business. You're doing that, but you're enjoying each other as well and getting to know each other, and and that's a good thing. I used to be really nervous about that. I would think, oh, if they get to be my friend, they're going to take advantage of me, but it's so not the case. People want those relationships. They crave those relationships, and they want to be taken care of. I mean, it's total advantage to be on location.
So lots of people are very happy to hear this. This is advice. You think one way. So I'd like to ask a couple more questions around that. And one is from Sharon Longya, who says, if you are on location, how do you show the clients the images? I have had a hard time finding a good space to project the images in clients' homes.
Great question. And that's another one of those things that when we went digital and everybody went to projection, it was still in that mindset of, I've got to sell the wall portrait. So I've got to project this big, because if they only see it this big, that's all they're going to buy. That was our mindset. But now, with the tools we have, being in somebody's home, when you can, before I had even the wall tool for the wall that you could go stick on there, and we're measuring and previewing all those things. I would just take a measuring thing with me. I would hold it out to their space and I would say, does this look about right? So I'm going to fill that much space, And being able to be in their house, take a laptop with you. You can even take an iPad. It doesn't matter. As long as you're with them and you're able to walk through and make suggestions, you're able to measure space. You can sell with anything. You can sell with your phone. It does not matter. It's all about that personal experience that you're giving to them and making those suggestions. Suggest, and believe that they want it. They want your suggestions. And, and that's why people, they hire a hairstylist and sit in the chair and say, do whatever you want. What do you think my hair would look best at when you go, and would it be okay dark? You're going to want to ask those questions. When we go and we're buying a nice dress for a formal event, we want that person in the room telling us which one looks better on us. We don't believe ourselves. We're going to believe them. That's their job. That's their specialty. So same thing with us. When we're hired to do a job, we should take the point of being the expert. They want our suggestions. That's part of this whole thing is, if we're going to put ourselves out there as professional photographers, take the stance of being a professional and give them really what they deserve.
Absolutely. To follow that up, because I was never sure what to do here, is because I would shoot on location in people's homes. Best Shot says, do you hand deliver the final product or do they have to pick it up? So say you don't have a studio. I always felt like I needed to go and hand deliver, and that's a lot of time and expense, especially depending on where they are versus
if
or
you
ship.
offer delivery, I think that's an amazing added value and added service that you could give, but you got to be making sure you're charging for it. That's it. That's all. If that's part of your entire package of your business, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to help you with your clothing suggestions. I'm going to help you with your personal prop selections. I'm going to walk around and make suggestions for the proper placement and presentation of your images when we're done. You're giving them all this added value and just communicating it. Part of it is even going to be, I'm going to hand deliver everything to you so that you've got everything and it's safe. If you want to do the installation, you want to hang it, we talked about that yesterday. That's another added service. But no, it doesn't have to be that way. If you would rather just have them pick it up someplace, but a lot of times you might need to work with a local framer. Maybe that's where they pick it up. That's the final destination. If you don't want people to come into your home, whatever it is. There's a lot of times that you can work out a partnership with another business, maybe that isn't even a framer, but someone that, a children's furniture store or a clothing store, it might be one of your clients that has a retail location that would love to have the right people walking in her door to pick up their portraits, and while they're there, they're going to see lots of other things they love. So there's ways to work around that if you don't have, don't be afraid of, I cannot let them come to my house, but I don't have the time to deliver. Another thing, just one other option to go along with that, I love part-time employees. Part-time employees are, when you work, they work. You're not responsible for feeding a family, you're not responsible for insurance and some of those other things. But I in the past have had people that just came, like every Tuesday I would have somebody that came and did framing and packaging. And with that, the system was in place that every Thursday was my order day. So I'd place all the orders from the week, and then I knew everything, including canvases, whatever, would be back from the lab by Tuesday. So that was the day that my person came in, and it was a high school senior student that came in and did all the framing and all the packaging on Tuesdays. You could do the same thing with a delivery person, whether it's for an event and you're delivering it all back to the host mom's house for people to pick up, or delivering to individual clients, hire somebody that just delivers. And you could probably find somebody pretty inexpensive, maybe even a high school student.
Okay. Lloyd would like to know, if you don't have a studio, what would you travel with as far as showing them?
And that would be the same thing that I travel with when I go to an event. And we haven't even talked about that. I can't believe no one's asked that yet.
Go Lloyd.
Yeah. So I take a basket, and I just have a large basket. I always want to make sure that I have a sample of everything. And so I'll take at least one framed piece. And if it's a mom that I've already worked with, a lot of times we've got things hanging in her home. So I don't have to take the framed pieces. If I've never worked with her before, she doesn't have anything on her wall, then I'm definitely going to bring a framed piece. The framed corners and the catalogs are enough. So don't think that, if you want to go this direction, don't feel like you have to buy every single thing before your first event. Buy a selection of the frame sticks. I told you guys yesterday, if you want to buy a package, Tana has them on sale for you so that you can start and you can show one finished. along with the sticks and the smaller pieces as well on wild sorbet. But if nothing else, get some colors, take a catalog along, you can show it that way. I take an image box and both of the sizes of albums, an accordion album. I take and some of the printed pieces, and that's about it. And I actually am really surprised no one has asked about putting prices online. Has anybody asked that?
They have asked that, but
I was trying to tell him that he needed to ask this question.
Okay.
Because he was asking
Great,
me,
this
and I
year.
said, you should ask that during the workshop about,
somehow I
like,
thought that we had discussed that, so I'm glad.
We have
then.
not discussed that. And I don't
if
know
there
what
were
you said that just reminded me of that. What's that?
Well, I think this is a little bit different, but we were wondering if there's ever, if it's ever in context to have galleries online for people to order online. And if you are still, if
Is
you
there ever
have
an instance when
circumstances,
you might put that online?
if you,
Okay,
there are
so now we're
circumstances.
having two different conversations, so don't let me forget one or the
Right.
other. Let's talk about first, because we did talk about this at lunch, about having images online for your clients to order. If you're doing like a social event or a ball game, something like that, where you've got lots of people coming to look at images, put them online. Don't waste your time with that. Yes, put them online, let people order that way. Weddings. I should always have my weddings paid for in advance. That means I'm not going to count on those Aunt Jane and Uncle Bob 5x7 orders for making money. Okay, so yes, weddings. Get your upfront payment, make it include the album, all the things that you want to sell. Put them online afterwards. Let Aunt Jane and Uncle Bob buy their stupid 5x7s. Who cares? For your regular portrait sales, for your event portrait sales, don't put them online. They're going to die. I have had people in the past who have maybe come from a long ways and said, can't you put them all online? Or I've had people that have said, for whatever reason. My answer to the question of, well, my mom's going to want to buy something. Grandma Jane's going to want to buy something. Can you put them all online for her to see? My answer to her is going to be, you know what, why don't we find out what size grandma is going to want? And then we'll go ahead and make a selection for her. And then every image you order is going to be placed in an online gallery. That, after the order, their order is put in a gallery for them to view, share with friends, whatever they want to do. So we're going to tell them every image you order is going to be placed on an online gallery for you. And if grandma wants to change out her 5x7, which is what it's going to be, maybe an 8x10. And honestly, when I say they ask that question because they don't know anything else. They ask you, well, are you going to be able to put them online? Because my mom's going to want to buy something as well. As soon as I say, well, let's go ahead and find out what size your mom wants, she's going to say, oh, she wants 8x10. She gets an 8x10 of all the grandkids. Or she wants a 5x7, whatever. She knows already. It's just that all she knows to ask is, well, can you put them on here? And so we're giving her that option. If we're going to put everything you order on an online gallery, if she wants to switch out with another one of your favorites, that's totally fine. We can do that for you. So that's my answer to that. If somebody says, anything like that, I'm going to tell them any image you order is going to be placed on an online gallery for you to view and share with your friends and family. The only circumstances that I've ever made that have not been sitting right next to me, I've done a Skype call with and done a screen share, and I still do preview just as if they were sitting right beside me. So they're seeing my preview screen, I'm designing with them, we're using their walls, we're going through everything together. And that is only going to be for the client that, I flew to Seattle and I photographed a family and now I'm flying home and I can't meet right back with them. So the Skype calls are awesome, you guys, for consultation calls as well. We've been using them for high school seniors, and that makes it a really fun thing for them that they get to, kind of see you, and you get to see them and some of their personality as well before they come in. But it works great for moms too when you're getting to know them before a family session or anything else. Use our technology.
Can I just clarify that? So when the ordered item is on the online gallery, are the prices then the same that are in the packages? Are those images available matted, or are those just prints? How do they differ?
They're not online for purchase at all.
Okay, so you're just
viewing.
viewing them, and then they would phone you to make that order.
They're not making
They've
the
already
order.
been ordered.
They've
No, no, no,
already
but like
made
when
the
they're
order.
saying if grandma wants to see them, like when you're saying, oh, the image is
She's
already
only
gonna be
seeing
online.
what has already been
This is
ordered.
after
No,
the
but what I'm
fact.
saying is if she wants additional, like if what I'm saying
Grandma's
is
never going to want additional.
not grandma,
Grandma
but
doesn't
in,
care.
okay, so the online gallery is only simply for
Show.
them just
Whatever
to have
they've
it.
ordered, what it is my yes answer. Can you put them online? Absolutely. Every image you order, you're going to have your own password protected gallery that you can view, share with friends, show to your hubs, whatever.
Okay, and that's where, what do you host those with? Just curious.
Just on my website.
They're hosted on your website
Yep.
under the client websites and the
Yes.
password.
Yes.
Oh, so they can't order them in any way, shape, or form online?
No.
Okay, that's what I just then was getting confused. So
Okay.
thank you. Glad to clarify.
What about the price?
No prices on there.
Oh, no prices on there
online.
either.
Oh, that's the other question.
Pricing online.
Yeah, pricing.
Sorry to digress. We had to get that out there.
Thank you, Miley. Yes, and that again that's a personal thing. There are people that will say, I want my prices online because I want people to see them before they call, before they come, so they're not shocked by prices. I'd rather not even have them call if they're not willing to spend this much money. From my perception, anything is too much money unless the value's there. And so someone that is, whether they're price shopping, whether they've come as a referral, it doesn't matter. If they get to your website and they see a list of prices, the only reason to post prices is if you're competing on price. If you're not competing on price, don't show those prices. It is not going to make sense to anybody. Even your $10 5x7, I don't know what you're charging, but
Just went up
They're
from 3
$79.99 now. What are you talking about?
you know, but even the person, not Kristen, who's charging $10 for a 5x7, there's somebody that's going there saying, well, I can get that for $2 if I go to Walmart.
Right.
You know, there is somebody that will say that. It's too much. You know, if we have not established value in their minds, it's too much. So I would never, ever put, you know, my suggestion, and again, it's a personal thing. There's no right or wrong, only what's right for you. But in my world, I can't do that.
That's huge confirmation because I've been tossing around the idea of pulling that whole section of my website completely offline. I will now.
Yay! Me too. I know, this is kind of like an AA meeting.
My name is Kristen, and I priced my prints too low.
Yeah, we're gonna need to have like the monthly meetings where we come and confess.
I devalue my work.
I fell off the bandwagon and I sold a print for $5.
Do we have anything online we need to address before we move on?
I think we can keep moving. I mean, we
Okay.
could ask you questions through Thanksgiving here in the U.S. But
All right, planning and scheduling, a huge first step to putting this all in place. And we've been touching points on scheduling, but I just want to kind of start back with saying that every part of your workflow should be scheduled. And that is when you can really look at your calendar and say, okay, I'm going to shoot on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 11 and 1. I'm going to plan an event one day a month. You know, whatever your situation is, whatever is right for you, you decide, not your client. And when you do that, if you can then also say, especially if you're a one-man show, if you can say, here's when I'm going to photograph the session, here's when I'm going to do my editing, here's when I'm going to do my order appointment, here's when I'm going to place the order to the lab, and here's when I'm going to do my packaging. If it's all on the calendar, and then you also have time set aside for social media, for marketing, for education, you know, whatever it is, if you can get those things all booked on your calendar, you can literally see in black and white when you can take another session. Because what happens is we get so excited about somebody calling and we book sessions and we book sessions, and then we wonder why we're editing at 2 o'clock in the morning. And we all do it, you know? But if we really planned, I've been there. If we really planned that schedule from start to finish, we could literally see in black and white, okay, this is when I can do this, this is when I can do that. So we've got a color-coded calendar. So each step of the workflow has a different color to it. So I can look and I can say, okay, I'm going to be editing at this time, or I'm going to be shooting at this time, I'm going to be selling at this time. And then when you start bringing on team members, you can start assigning those different tasks to them. And I would even suggest that as you're pulling this all together, and if you're like me, this is not easy. It's not easy to want to micromanage your schedule like that, but it's necessary if you're going to be profitable. It's necessary if you're going to put a system in place, because you have to manage it, and you have to look at it as your business and not your fun photography habit. You know, for me, I don't even do photography for fun anymore. It's not fun for me. Outside, I need to make money for it to be fun. You know, and so which makes our vacation suffer a little. You know, I mean, I photograph Jackson's ball games, and maybe someday when I'm 75, I might be able to go back through the images. You know, and it's sad, but it's true. You know, if I'm not making money at this, I do not want to do it. And so I've had to micromanage this thing. And I definitely, you know, leading up to here, George called me 1 month ago and said, can you come do Creative Live November 17th? Well, I'm going to be out of the country for 10 days, you know, right before that. I'm going to be doing this. I mean, I was flipped out. I'm spitting.
That's too much.
But, you know, and I was thinking, okay, in the next 2 weeks before November 1st, I have to have every single thing done for the holidays, for getting to Ecuador, for coming to Creative Live. I mean, I was like a crazy person. And, you know, and so, I mean, I was doing all-nighters, you know. It's not like, but at some point it becomes a choice that you make, and not this life that you're living because you have no schedule and you have no plan. So step one in our recovery program.
Be awesome. Step one, be awesome.
We have a problem. We admitted that on day one.
Okay, so step two, we've admitted we have a problem. No, but really the first thing to do is to get a handle on that schedule, and you decide when you're going to work. You know, and all of us have different lifestyles, different things that are important to us. What's important to you? This comes next, you know? And then we have to run a business. And yes, we love photography. Yes, we're creatives. Yes, this is so much a part of us that it hurts to raise our prices. It hurts because I'm saying that I'm worth more than I'm charging. And that is a hard thing for us to spit out. But we have to do it. We have to make those business decisions. And the rest of us talked about this the other day, but I'll put it out there to the rest of you that, you know, if you were opening up a retail location and you were selling jeans and you were selling sweaters and you were selling hair accessories, whatever, you would say, this is the industry markup and this is what this is worth. You know, excuse me, we have a retail product. That is what we do. Yes, we're invested into what is going on in this product. However, you know, so is the cake decorator and the florist and the hairstylist and, you know, and all these other people. But we are a retail and service oriented business, and you have to think about it as a business. What is your time worth in your business? What is your business worth? And really, if you're not willing to earn a respectable income and profit so that you can earn a respectable income, then you really should get a great job and do photography for fun. Because it's, you know, I mean, it should be fun. And it's not anymore when we're drudging along and not making any money and hurting our families, not charging enough, and we beat ourselves up after a session anyway when we get there and we've put our heart and soul into it, and then we sit down with somebody and, well, what would you like? And they don't know what to say, so they say 4x6s and 5x7s and great big 8x10s. That's all they know, and then we go home heartbroken. You know? So we beat each other up, or ourselves up that way. So don't beat yourself up the other way by saying, you know what? This is what my time is worth. This is what my product is worth. And take you out of the equation and think about what you're doing for those families. Think about what you're doing for the couple that's here today, creating the memories and seeing dad, just those kids crawl all over him and love on him, and, you know, capturing those moments for them. and then giving them something beautiful to enjoy every single day when they walk by it. And, you know, and I tell people that, you know, this is something that's going to make you smile every time you walk past it. And I say that a lot in the order appointment, and it's not a line, it's not a sales tactic. It is my true heart's belief that this is bringing these people joy. We're creating memories, we're creating an experience, we're creating, you know, something that they can treasure for always. And when you know, because everyone tells us, the media tells us, the newspapers, the newscasters, when there's a horrible disaster, people are grabbing their photographs, they're grabbing their albums, they're grabbing their portraits off the walls. They'll take those things before anything else. They'll leave everything behind, but they have to have their pictures. And, you know, and think about that before you go into a session and really what that is that you're giving those people. You know, take you out of it.
If there isn't anything that I would want to go and listen to over and over to pump myself up, it is that. My goodness. On behalf of people online who are saying, like, VFX by art, great speech, Lori. Thank you.
I didn't mean to be a speech.
No, but that was awesome. Thank you.
Right. So planning and scheduling. Any questions about scheduling? I know it's a place we all struggle.
Have one and stick to it.
Yeah, how about the self-discipline? I mean, like that is what I struggle with, is because my life is so crazy because I have 2 tiny kids, and I was just thinking as you were saying the importance of pictures, that, you know, parents of small children, the pictures give them the ability to remember that they actually love these little people that they want to drop kick into next week because they're driving them off the wall. But I mean, the self-discipline part is huge because I don't have a boss. I am my own boss, and so how do you keep focused?
We're all our own bosses, and it's hard to keep focused. I mean, it's daily, and part of it's putting rituals in place. You know, getting up and working out, or getting up and reading for 20 minutes, or whatever your, you know, way to really start your day is and to stay focused. There are some things like that that are so important, and we all get so busy being busy that we let those things go. And, you know, even putting that into your calendar, I'm going to be awake by this time, means I have to be asleep by this time. You know, instead of at the computer till 1 o'clock in the morning, so I've got an excuse the next morning, I can't work out. You know. But putting those rituals in place is one. Putting it actually on your calendar, that's part of that scheduling. And that was where years ago I had to literally go into my calendar and say session, 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 session. And you can only book a session in my studio where I have said you can book a session. And I don't book them anymore. And so I had to be that clear to my staff to be able to say, if it's not on here as Lori will do a session, then Lori's not going to do a session, you know? And that's a thing, that's a disciplined guess that I mean, I kind of can't answer the phone a lot of times because I do get talked into stuff. I do, you know, and somebody calls, and for instance, the gentleman that called about that Sunday session, you know, that was me answering the phone going, yeah, I really want, and I did. I'm so glad I did that session. But you know, it's that every other call that comes, and you definitely have to get that language down. You have to have those answers about, you know, how long's it been since you have had a family session? Yeah. This is really important.
For me, the biggest reason it's completely also in my other business, in my 5 minutes for mom. I am so bad about putting a schedule in place. Just the same reason I'm bad about a budget is I don't want the truth. I don't want the truth, because the truth, I can't handle the truth. The truth is I don't have enough time to get it all done. I don't. There are not enough hours in my day to get it all done. And if I put it on the calendar, then I'm going to have to say no to that client because I can't physically get it all done. But I don't want to deal with that truth. So I'll tell them I can't, and then I'll stay up all night, and then, you know, on all that you're telling me. But it's because I don't want to deal with the truth. Cycle. Which is ridiculous. I have to deal with the truth. Yeah. So just like the budget, which I'm still not ever going to do, but at least I'll do the calendar. How's about that? I'm not going to do the budget, but I'll do the calendar.
Do the calendar.
I have to, otherwise I'm going to die.
Actually, having a schedule. I mean, I came from a corporate environment, so and I lived and breathed by my Outlook calendars. So, and actually, by having the schedule and sticking to it, it'll give you more time.
That is so
so
true.
It just will.
True.
So
That is a very good point.
So
it
true.
will.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
But it is true, and it helps you learn to delegate. And that's the other thing. It's very hard for all of us to delegate. We all kind of have that personality. I know. I'm the exact same way. It's that idea that by the time I tell somebody else how to do it, I might as well have just done it myself. Or I'm the only one who can do this right. So, but there are certain things, and when you're going to hire somebody, Chris and I have talked a little bit about this, but when it's time to hire staff, make a list of everything you do, every single thing you do, every job that you do in the studio, from cleaning to, organizing, emailing, answering the phone, everything. Make that list, and then start prioritizing that list and decide, these are the things that only I can do. These are the things that I hate to do. These are the things I love to do. These are things I can outsource, delegate, whatever it is. And as you go through that list, there are some hard things. When I first gave up editing my images, that was a hard thing for me. But then I realized how much time it gave me back in my life, and it's so worth the money to delegate it or outsource it. There are a lot of things that are worth outsourcing. All of our design products, I can design all these, I can do it all, do our holiday cards, all that stuff. I charge a $45 design fee for any design piece. That way, if I'm not going to do it, if I'm outsourcing it, it's paid for. I've paid for that person's commission to do it. Cleaning is something that I haven't done in 10 years, which is, there's good and bad about that. When there's weeks that my cleaning person doesn't come, my house doesn't get clean. So there's good and bad. But I realized a long time ago that if I can pay somebody else $15 an hour or $20 an hour to come and clean, my time is much more better invested doing something else for my business than it is to be cleaning.
That's why
So
I'm here. That's why
hire
I'm-
a cleaning person. I'm telling you all you can.
But it's for me and my 5 minutes for mom, that's why I'm sitting here, is because we finally grew to that place. In the beginning, we had to do everything ourselves. But the reason I'm now able to focus more on the photography is because right now somebody else is doing all that work I used to do. It's so lovely. And then you can find out the other aspects of your business that now you're here teaching and you're doing these things, which you wouldn't be able to do if you were sitting home editing,
Yep.
right?
Laura, did you have a question? Because she did a while.
Well, I had a question a while back, and it was about when you go on location to shoot a family. If you go in their home and there's junk and there's clutter around, how do you get good photography in somebody else's home?
Take them outside.
Okay, what if it's raining though? So
Take umbrellas.
You just go outside and go out in the rain. So,
Yeah.
But do you have any tricks for doing indoor shoots at a home?
Yeah, and shoot tight. Change your level. So, for instance, if they've got junk on the floor and they're on this couch, then you're going to lower your level so you're shooting back up, off the floor. I've gone up on a balcony and photographed down on the couch on families and to get rid of different elements around. But there's always, even if it's raining, there's usually a porch. There's usually an open garage door that you can get into. Garages have usually blank walls, unless it's somebody that has completely cluttered everything. But not you.
Yes, I do. Completely cluttered garage.
But there's always something, I have put kids up on a kitchen counter before and photographed because that's where the best light was.
Okay.
What's that?
I said it's so much fun. We've done that a lot, and they love it.
They
Make
do
sure you
love
have
it.
your insurance policies in before you put children on counters.
So, and that's just something to get in the habit in as well. When you get to somebody's home, just expect that you're going to have to go in and let them know, I'm going to just scout around first if that's okay for you. I'm going to look for the spots with the best light. That'll probably surprise you where those spots are. And that way, if there's junk everywhere, then you've already said, it's going to surprise you where I'm going to put you today, and you've said it in a very positive way. So that's always, first time you get to a portrait event, first time you get to somebody's house for a location session, whatever it is, just tell them, if it's okay with you, I'm just going to scout around. And what happens when you do that is you're going to find cool things to pull into the images as well. You know, tell me about this piece, or tell me about, you know, something that you see, and then they'll tell you the story. And now that they've told you the story, once it's in an image, that image means that much more to them.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Some other product lines that you could apply portrait events to. We're going to add grandparents to the top of that list. And then we're going to talk about seniors. These are seniors, obviously, for me. And this is the only other thing, really, that I've considered adding this to in my studio. And that's because I can call a high school senior that has done well with us. Her family has come in for a session. They've been great clients. They know the system. I can call that person and say, I'm so excited for you. You're graduating, going off to college. How would you feel about planning something and inviting 10 of your junior friends, and you're going to get all your pictures for free? And so it's a great way for her to invite people that are potential future clients for me, and we can, you know, celebrate this girl's next stage in life. She's made a lot of changes during her senior year, so she's going to be excited about having pictures again. And we're getting her to invite qualified people because she knows the system. She knows how much her mom spent. You know, she knows how much she loved her images. So we're, you know, calling back on these people to bring us the next new clients in. So
Lori,
seniors is big for me.
Is her photo shoot free, just the sitting, or all the products as well?
She, as a host, will get a free session and $50 per girl that she brings in. With high school seniors, you have to require that they have a mom with them when they come. She just can't be bringing her girlfriends. You know, it is a whole process, and we do the same type of consultation, the whole thing with them. Okay. So it's almost a kind of variation of a model program, because they're being invited by a past senior with us, and they're getting in before anybody else does. We're using those images as marketing, and, you know, letting them shout out to their friends. We get them all rep cards. These two things on the left, I don't know why those are both Amandas. I guess that's a popular name, Amanda. But those are our rep cards. On the back of it, it has a $50 portrait credit to the studio. So they can go and give those out to their friends, and it gives them a $50 coupon when they come back. So seniors is one. Bridal party is another. If you're doing weddings and you're thinking you want to start branching out and doing some portraits, it's a great way to either go back to your past brides and do a fun girls' night out, or bring your bridal party back together. You're married now. It's a new phase in life. Let's get the girls back together and do a fun get-together for them, like a post-wedding party. You could also do it before the wedding, where it's all the girls in the bridal party. They all come for girls' night out, get photographed. You host it, do the wine, let them have fun. A lot of times with those, my friend Kay Eskridge in Arizona, she runs Celebrate Sexy is the name of her boudoir division of her company. And she does an awesome job. But she does these girls' night outs, and she brings in girls. They all come together. She actually shows them the images that night. They buy her products, like a little black book she does, and she does the image boxes as well. And some other products that are geared specifically towards the girls' night outs. But when she gets them together, and she's got hair and she's got makeup, and they're drinking their wine and, you know, getting photographed, and they're egging each other on, you know, you gotta buy that, you gotta have this. And those are very profitable for her because it's a girlfriend thing, you know. And, you know, we all know you get your girlfriends together and start being silly and trying to be sexy, and, you know, and all those things.
Miley.
You know, it's a fun time, and we will spend money, you know. It's just like going to the Pampered Chef party and, oh, you're getting that? I'll get that too, you know. And so all those things work. That's not my thing. I don't do that in my studio, but it would work great. It's a great concept. Families, I choose not to do families because I want families in my studio, but this portrait event system would work great for family sessions, to be able to book them like that. Another thing, we use the same concept anytime that I'm doing, like if I'm gonna go photograph out at a country club or high-end daycare or school, or we're doing a family portrait day. We use the same exact concept. We're lining up families every 30 minutes. We're doing the sale immediately following, handling everything that day. The reason they're profitable is because we're planning with them beforehand. We're doing the consultations beforehand, even when it's a line them up session day. It makes all the difference in the world. And it's a hard thing to do the first couple times, you know, but so write it down. Decide what you're gonna say, decide how that conversation is gonna go, and then do it. And you'll find that once you do it once or twice, the reaction that you get from people is so positive that it just gets easier and easier. It's definitely not easy the first time. It's horrific the first time you show your images immediately after a session. But you just gotta say, I'm gonna try it. What do I have to lose? Digital, I've got that exclamation point there because that's our big digital dilemma. But you could definitely do this whole portrait event system around a digital product. And again, if that's what you feel your strong product is, you feel like that's what your marketplace wants, do it, but just make sure you're priced appropriately so that you're profitable doing it. Having one that's all centered around toddlers, every time I see the word tots, I think of Napoleon Dynamite. But,
Napoleon, give me some of your tots.
but you know, little kids, you could even confine it more than I have for being the kids' ages. You can make it be just toddlers or preteens. I mean, that's another thing that should go up there is, I mean, that's a huge marketplace right now. The little tweeners, you know, that age, they now all have iPhones. They all have, I mean, it's crazy. They even all have now in the schools, all these kids have their own laptops. And, you know, even us in Winterset, Iowa, a town of 5,500 people, the kids starting in junior high all have their own MacBooks. And, you know, they're all tech savvy. They're all into all this stuff. The girls are getting older and older, younger and younger, unfortunately. But, you know, you get, now when we do family sessions, I talk to the moms, if they've got a girl anywhere from like 9 to 13, she's gonna want wallets to be able to give to her friends at school. And then those wallets turn into another little girl going, I want a session, I wanna have this done. And so then, you know, so doing a portrait event just based around that age, I think would be really, really popular. And then, of course, the pets. You could definitely do a pet event and get that market going, if that's your thing.
Yeah, Lori, I do a lot of horse photography because my girls ride horses through 4-H, and that's a really good market too, is to have this type of event and just back to back and have
Definitely.
them all just bring in their.
Look at Hillary Mayberry photography.
Okay.
Hillary Mayberry, she's a very wonderful horse photographer.
Yep, awesome. And, you know, and to do that, when you're getting really specialized like that, you know, just horses or just, you know, whatever, make sure you've got some special products that really will appeal to that product line, whatever it is, and incorporate those things. And those are even things that you can do as, whether it's an add-on or included in when you purchase a package or when you do the build a collection, you're gonna get this and make it be that thing that gotta have item that's special for that group.